Okay, I'm going to talk about the first one, kind of how I think about these sets of problems. So I'm going to first look at triangle ABC. So I'm going to trace from A to B to C, and then trace E to F to D. And I see here that the angle here is different between the two, here and here. So A, it cannot be A. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Okay, so A, B, C corresponds to F, D, E. So I first look at where the corner here, so this one corresponds to this one, so that's good. But next I'm going to look at where it started. So it started here at A, and that angle corresponds to angle F where it started this one. And then and C corresponds to E. So all the angles there line up. And also when we drew this, we went over the one with 2 hash marks and then 1 hash mark. We do this one, went over the one with 2 hash marks and then with 1. So I think it's going to be B. Okay, but let's take a look at the other ones, make sure it didn't make a mistake and pick the wrong one. So look at A, B, C again. This one's D, E, F. So here's D, and that would correspond to that point A, and those are not the same. And then this other one starts off at F, so that's good. And then this one is E, which is this one, which does not correspond with B, so it can't be either of those. Okay, so before I even really start this next problem, what I'm going to do is mark the sides that are congruent to each other. So MN and RS, those sides are congruent to each other. And then NP is congruent to ST. NP and ST. Now it's easier to compare the angles. So first of all, I'm going to find out what x is. And so the 2x plus 8, that will have to equal 62. This is the same angle in each of them. So 2x, add 8 or subtract 8 from both sides. And then divide both sides by 2. So x would equal 27. So I think it's going to be G. Let's go ahead and solve for y and make sure. So here 3y minus 2 is equal to 58. And we're going to add 2 to both sides. And then divide by 3. So the answer is G on that one for sure. Okay, so for this one, we're given the measure of angle A and given the measure of angle C, and we're asked to find the measure of angle Y. So really, since these two triangles are congruent, if we find the measure of angle B, then we're good to go. So using the triangle sum theorem, we know that all the angles inside triangle ABC need to add up to 180 degrees. So I'm going to, I just note that the measure, or the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle C equals 180. So say that 47.1 plus, call that B, plus 13.8, that needs to equal 180. Simplify the left-hand side. See, 60.9. And then subtract that from both sides. We get B is equal to 119.1. So therefore, the measure of angle Y has to equal 119.1. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to start comparing sides I know are congruent to each other. So MN and SP are congruent to each other. and they gave us the length of SP. So I know that MN is 33, which is one of the sides of the triangle we're trying to find the perimeter for. They also gave us SR is 10 and RQ is 24. So those two sides of that triangle will correspond to MR in the other one. So that means that the bottom side of our triangle is 34. And finally, they give us that QP is 30, and that will correspond to RN of our triangle, so that is also 30. Now we found all the sides. You note that NL was not part of the problem, so we did not need to use that information. So now we're going to add up all the sides of our triangle, and then we get 97. So the perimeter of triangle MNR is 97.